welcome to the Springboard Hangout with Comfort Ocran. The Springboard Hangout, as you know, is your fun-educative program where we have fun and talk about issues that concern us in life. The Springboard Hangout is produced by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with the Ghana Grows program. And Ghana Grows was initiated by the Mastercard Foundation in partnership with the Springboard Roadshow. Today is all about fashion, color, and style. We are privileged today to have in the studios two ladies who have almost 3 decades of experience between them. One is bespoke, the other is ready to wear. And there is a point of conversion between the two of them. What makes them love their style? And how do they keep on being relevant over the years? Today, we are privileged to have in the studios Sarah Boadu, who is the founder and the creative mind behind Sarah Boadu Fashions, and Goldyn Adams, who is the one who founded Boadu and Adams. What do they do? Why do they do it? And most importantly, do you see how I'm looking today? This is Goldyn, this is Sarah, and you can see I am enjoying myself, what I am wearing. So hey, don't go anywhere. We're going for a quick break. When we return, it's all about fashion, it's all about style, and it's all about lovely color, bringing us life and creativity. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hi there, and welcome back from the break. Today it's going to be lit. I mean, you've seen the studio, right? The studio is so colorful. I have Sarah to my extreme right, and in red, gorgeous red. And then I have Goldyn right beside me in white. And indeed, let me let you know that I am styled by both of them. My pants by Goldyn, my top by Sarah. Sarah, tell me, 20 years plus in fashion, are you not tired?
I'm very tired. I'm extremely tired. But I'm still here. When you believe something is purpose, you don't stop. And there's a conviction that comes with fashion. Is it hard? Yes. Is it tiring? Absolutely. Sometimes I do think, let me pack it in and just be a housewife. Maybe that would be easier, but I don't actually think that would be easier.
And you will not feel fulfilled?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think, I have to make a dress.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 5. I definitely, making dresses is just, I've been doing it for, like you rightly said, 21 years now. And I can't remember, I don't have a plan B at this point. I don't have
so
a plan
tell
B.
me how the whole Sarah Boadu came up.
So it was actually called Red Rose Fashion for the longest time.
Yes.
And I started when I was very young, in case anyone does calculations to work out my age. I started when I was very, very young. And it was actually during my GCSEs, which is I don't know what the equivalent would be in Ghana, but
O-levels, from our O-levels also.
Yes.
Let's see, a little bit above JHS.
Yes. So I chose textiles GCSE actually by accident. And then all of my friends were doing graphics. I wanted to change onto the graphics course, but there was no space. So they didn't let me go onto graphics, but thank God they didn't. I made a top. I fell in love with the top. I said, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And that was it. And
what color was the top?
Gold. I actually still have it. So the next time you come to store, I'll show you. I still have the top.
You still have the top?
I still have the top.
Wow.
Yes. As a reminder to me of where it all began. Yeah.
I love that. That's deliberate.
Very deliberate. Everything I do is intentional. Everything. So yes, I kept it. And then just from there, I did lots of internships in the UK, working with various brands. I worked for Burberry, Ralph & Russo, all the top dogs. All the top dogs.
So you learned a lot from them.
I learned a lot. I learned so much. I learned the business side of fashion. I learned the quality. That's why I don't play about with my quality. I always say that you have to be able to turn my dresses inside out. And if you want to wear it inside out, you should be able to. The quality should be that good. that
love
you
that.
can.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that level of craftsmanship, I mean, Ralph and Russo is a haute couture company, which there are only, I think, 30 or so in the world. So it's premium, pristine levels of craftsmanship. And that's where I learned it. And yeah, here we are, 21 years later.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Goldyn?
So I say I've loved fashion my whole life. Ever since I was young, I used to make dresses for my dolls, for my little sisters, and I knew it was fashion I was going to do. So in JHS, I completed. I went to senior high school to study home economics in Holy Child School, and afterwards, I decided to pursue it in the university where I studied fashion design in KNUST, and I began the business aspects of fashion design in my first year in university. I mean, when you go to the university in the first year, everybody expects you to, adapt and all that. So I was like, I don't think I want to sit down.
That's not Goldyn, no.
Yes. I don't want to sit down and not do anything with what I love. So I decided to start learning how to make bonnets, hairbands, and scrunchies. That's where I began. And now I make wedding gowns, I make lovely pieces. And recently, Chef Abby's was wearing my piece on her London tour. And I said, oh my goodness, I made it. I was so glad that something that was a childhood desire has moved on and I'm here now. So I'm so grateful.
I love that. So I hear from you that, yes, it was a desire, but you had to, really work on it. And you are also saying virtually the same thing, but you are looking at the impact you're making in people's lives based on pursuing your passion. That makes it all worth it.
Absolutely.
I was fascinated with the challenge of learning from the best. Why is that good?
How long do we have? So, I think we always have to aim high. I think especially as, children of God, as creation, we just have to always aim for, there's a saying that says, is it aim for the sky? And if you
fall on the stars,
you'll fall on the stars. Exactly.
Yeah.
So always aim for the highest possible place. And I just went for it. I remember just contacting Ralph. I have to check. But I actually stalked one of the senior members of the Ralph and Russo company. And I contacted him on LinkedIn. And I said, I'm an up-and-coming designer. I would love to learn. Can I do an internship? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Let me come in. And then I started it. But for me, I knew that Ralph and Russo at the time was the best. They probably still are, one of the best, haute couture companies out there. And the only one in the UK at the time. So I went for it. And I said, I just have to learn. There's nothing, I understand the importance of learning. I'm still learning. I'm still looking for a course even now to do. You never stop learning, especially in this trade. There are things that I'm sure if I went to Goldyn's studio, she would teach me, and likewise. I've been in it for 21 years, but I know that another 20 years from now, I'll still be learning. So for me, the opportunity to learn from the best was the only option I had. I didn't want to learn from anyone mediocre. I didn't want to learn from, I wanted to learn from those that had gone there, paved the way. And more than anything, I wanted to see the mistakes that they were making and make sure that I wasn't making those mistakes. And one of the things I learned in my work experience was staff management.
Yeah.
I won't say too much, I might get in trouble. But I learned a lot about staff management and how to retain members of staff. I listened to the staff's conversation and I could hear what they were saying, what they loved, what they hated. And I remember taking notes even then and saying that when I have my fashion brand and I have employees, I don't want them to ever feel how some of those staff members felt. Or I do want some of my staff to feel how some of these staff members felt. But it locked into my mind for sure.
I want to reiterate this because you were telling me recently that you actually learn every single month. You take exams. I mean, you search for courses. And some of them, when you finish them, you're like, oh, I knew that already. But some of them too, you're like, wow, I would never have known this if I hadn't come for this course.
Yeah.
And that's impressive.
Yeah.
Goldyn, I mean, please don't say yes, me too. but how have you kept yourself relevant in the States?
Okay, so I would say that, as she said, you keep learning. And one thing that Aisha Yinsu told me is you are going to learn on the job. Because I remember 3 years ago, I wanted to do an internship at her place. And she told me that you have something going on. You can do it. So why don't you continue doing it and learning on the job? So I always tell myself that this is my training ground. This is like my book, my sketchbook. So my business is my sketchbook. So I'm learning on the job, and I'll definitely get there because I know there's a bright future. There's a place that I'm aiming to. The sky is the limit, but I don't think the sky is the limit. But yeah, I always tell myself that we'll learn on this job that we are doing, and it's something that I love so much. So say that.
Beautiful. Goldie, you recently you did a pop-up, and tell us about the pop-up, and then what are some of the learnings from the pop-up that you did?
So it was at the Acuna space at Cantonment, and I would say that was one of my first pop-ups with a different set of people apart from the Goldyn Adams brand. And I'll say I learned a lot of things. It exposed me to a wider audience. It made me feel like there are people out there who actually appreciate African craftsmanship. And it made me realize that people love the African culture, and it's up to me to bring it to them, to show it to them. So I'll say it brought me new audience. It made me understand that the fashion industry is a broader space, and to be able to be relevant, you need to make pieces that are authentic, and pieces that just represent who you are as a person and also your client base.
Sarah, you started as a bespoke. What were the most enjoyable times of being bespoke, and what made you transition to the ready-to-wear space?
Okay, so I haven't fully transitioned to ready-to-wear because I'm fighting, if I'm honest. Okay. I don't really enjoy ready-to-wear as much. I mean, I love doing, so for example, the kimono that you're wearing, there are only 2 available in the whole world because the print is very unique. So we don't repeat print. So there's only one other person in this world, and even then, the placement of the print will be different. So with ready-to-wear, I love it. I mean, this boot that I'm wearing is ready-to-wear. I do love ready-to-wear, but I feel like that's the very business side of fashion. That's where the money maker really is. But for the longest time, as much as, yes, I've made money, and I thank God for that, but what I love about bespoke is speaking to my clients. Okay. That's my favorite part. Right. And I know you probably expected me to say the dresses and when we're making the dress and constructing it, but it's actually the one-on-one time I have with my clients. We have the best conversations. I'm actually a trained counselor, so it comes in, especially with brides. You know, yes. It comes in it's very useful study that I did many years ago. But I love meeting people. I love having conversations with women. I love women. I believe I'm called to women. So for me, it's very much about the conversations, and there's nothing like seeing a woman look in the mirror in a dress that we have made her, and her whole countenance changes. That will never get old for me. That even talking about it now, like if I talk about it long enough, I'll probably well up. But I'm so passionate about that because it's so invaluable to be the reason that someone is so like I've had clients cry before when they put on their dresses. Not even just wedding dresses, birthday dresses. I literally had one lady say, I've never felt so beautiful. Just some of the words and the conversations you hear, and it's never just a dress. And I think that's why I love what I'm going to stop, because I could go on and on and on.
No, I have this wonderful smile on my face because I know how whenever I've gone for a piece that I really felt I wanted it. And when I put it on, I'm like, oh, girl, go, girl, you're looking so good. You know, exactly. I am coming.
Yeah.
So we're talking to Sarah Boadu. She has her own fashion line, and then we have Goldyn Adams as well, who also has her unique, wonderful fashion line. And we're looking at, we looked about in their backgrounds, how they started. We saw some of the roads that they decided to use, or the trajectory they decided to take. And so now I want to find out from her, because you know we talked about, usually you hear people, fashion show. Sarah, what should be the ideal items that would make a fashion show work? And do fashion shows always convert to an increase in the kind of sales that you make?
Okay, so fashion shows are great for visibility, great for getting your name out there, great for people knowing, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that was Sarah, she was at this show, I went to this show, she was there. but they don't always convert to sales.
Okay.
And it gets to a point when you're doing this that you need to make the money. So the visibility is great, but it's not great if it's not converting into sales. So I think fashion shows, in my opinion now with my experience, I say fashion shows work if it's your own fashion show. So if people are coming specifically to see you.
Right.
But what I wouldn't do now, and I used to, this is how I started, and it was great in the beginning of my business, but especially with the social media age and everything else, where we have so much visibility online, I don't think when I've done events now with fashion shows and other designers are there, it doesn't necessarily convert.
Right.
Because my client base might not be Goldyn's client base. So if you put Goldyn and I together in a fashion show, if I'm doing high-end bespoke and she's doing high-end ready-to-wear, they're two different client bases.
Yeah.
So you then get the wrong person in the room for one of us.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to understand your client base and know where they will be. And my clients would, they're more likely to come to a Sarah Boadu fashion show,
right,
where I've invited them into the atelier and they've come in and they've seen the presentation, rather than a show that's just, I don't want to use the word random, but for lack of a better word, like a show that just has, a random group of designers and then I just happen to be one of those designers.
Right.
So, I mean, I used to fashion shows all the time. Twice a year, 3 times a year. And even with fashion shows, because of the deadlines, I used to just rush clothes and I would just put anything
together.
There. Especially when I was I used to. There was one time I'll never forget. There was one fashion show and I just pinned. We had fabric left over. I had one more model. I just pinned the dress on this model. I got safety pins and it wasn't even safety pins. The normal dressmaking pins. I was like, walk very slow, walk very slow. You'll never believe that it's that dress that someone asked me for at the end of the fashion show. And that had never, honestly, I think I can count on my one hand maybe how many times someone would come and say, oh, I'm really interested in that dress. But she wanted that dress. And I looked at this woman and I said, okay, I'll take your details. I was very young. I wasn't even 18 at the time. I said, I'll take your details and I'll give you a call back. And I never called her because I didn't know how to construct the dress properly. I had just used pins to put it together, so there was no way. Like I probably could have worked it out, but by then I didn't even know what draping was. There were so many skills I would have needed to make that dress that I didn't have at the time. So I just said, oh, I'll take your details. She's watching now, this is very embarrassing. I just said, I'll take your details, and I never called her back. But for me, fashion shows were just pressure.
Yeah.
Unnecessary pressure, because I didn't, maybe it's also my mindset. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm like, maybe I was the problem. But yeah, moving forward, I definitely want to do Sarah Boadu fashion shows in the atelier, put seating on either side. It's big enough.
Yes,
do a runway show of our pieces, especially when I launch the next ready-to-wear line, which is going to be more, and it's going to be more curated. I'm going to do research. I'm going to have a mood board. I haven't done that in years. But I'm going to do the whole work, and then I'm going to invite people into the space. Right. Because when I did my launch and I invited people in, I loved that. Again, talking to people. So, yeah, that's definitely what I'm going to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. And for you, Goldyn, what would you say can be your particular brand style?
I would say that from what I've heard from everything Sarah has said so far about the fashion show, I think my first pop-up did very well, and the second one also was amazing.
Right.
So I think I would lean more into the pop-ups, make it a created Goldyn Adams experience, and have clients come in, speak with them, what they want for the brand to do, what they want to see, and all that. So I think I'll lean more into the pop-ups, meeting our customers and our clients one-on-one, and having just the experience with them.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sarah, if somebody is a young person watching us right now, the person is going to start his or her business, or is starting her business or his business, what are some of the things that, in fact, you technically Goldyn, not know your name, Goldyn fashion rules that they must keep?
It's to be true to yourself.
Right.
In the industry, we have so much copyright. We have so much imitation. We have so much, oh, this person was successful, so I'm trying to do it the way they did it, or I'm trying to do what they did, and I'm just trying to just be yourself. The best times I've had in fashion have been when I'm not looking at anyone else. I actually quite intentionally don't follow any fashion designers that I really admire. Okay. And I won't. because there was a time where I'm not someone who loves to have like a fully beaded dress necessarily, although I have this beaded thing. But usually I like to stay away from the beading. It's not my aesthetic. I can do it, and I can do it quite well. But
please, she's not kidding. I tell you, I'll show you a wedding dress that she did beaded, and you see the details she puts into it. Yes, please.
Yes,
sorry for interrupting.
No, it was a beautiful interruption. Thank you. I'm not adverse to beading, but it's not my go-to as a designer. It's not my aesthetic. I think everyone has their aesthetic, and it's not mine. But it got to a point where, because on my social media feed, all I was seeing was beaded dresses. As in, I'm not against beading, but even when it comes to kente, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
That is your pet peeve.
I won't get into that.
Right.
I really don't like when kente is beaded, because we're hiding the craftsmanship. So for me, for a long time, I didn't do kente. I didn't do it at all, because I said, I don't want to bead it. I don't want to hide what's underneath. But I started to do these things, not because I wanted to, but because I felt like that's what everyone wants. And I stopped asking my client what they wanted and started to look at other people and other designers and what they were producing. And then I found myself always looking at beaded fabric, always looking at beaded lace. And I'm like, I don't like this thing I've made. I don't love it. It's nice, but I don't love it. And I stopped loving my work because I was imitating. And I didn't realize. But one day I really had to sit down and say, I'm starting to hate fashion. What's going on? I don't like making dresses anymore. And I mean, that happens often. But at that particular time, it was because I was copying. And I wasn't being original. I'm literally the designer who I'll just be there and God will just drop a design into my spirit.
Beautiful.
And I wasn't doing that anymore. Nothing was dropping because I was picking up other designers' things.
Copying.
And I was copying. So I would say don't copy.
Be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself. Why have you come into the industry? What do you want to bring to the industry? Now that I'm confidently saying, I don't like kente when it's beaded, I'm having a plethora of customers come in. I don't like beaded kente either. So many people. But I wouldn't have known that there was a whole tribe of us if I was staying copying everybody else.
And people would be actually staying away because they are not coming to you because they feel that, that's also another designer.
Another one that's beading kente.
Yeah.
It's just, but, and it's not even a thing to necessarily be unique. I think sometimes in our strive for being unique, what we actually do is just copy and then change something. But just be yourself. Like, it's so easy to be yourself.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's the easiest thing you can do.
Especially, as you say, if you ask God for inspiration, He always gives you the best.
The best.
And some people wonder, how did you come across it? Yeah. Because it was original.
Exactly. And sometimes what I've made is so simple. So simple.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this didn't take as long as the other. I can make a dress. It will take me so long. I'll post it on Instagram. It'll be like, oh, can I speak to you? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Go right ahead.
No one will mind me. Everyone, like, the engagement won't be great. Let me put the thing that I'm like, I like this. I just want it to, I love clean lines. For me, it's all about clean lines. When I do that, it picks up because I think also there's a thing about authenticity that people can feel.
They can relate to. They know that, that piece is sublime.
Exactly. And just be authentic. It doesn't, if something is working for Sarah Boadu, it might not work for you because you're not Sarah Boadu. If something's working for Goldyn, you can copy, but it's not going to work for you because you're not Goldyn. There's an anointing that backs authenticity that, as creatives, I think that's what I would say to them. Just don't copy. Be original. Be yourself and enjoy yourself. Find out who you are as a creative. You'll make mistakes. There'll be things that work, things that don't work. I released a collection, did a whole shoot. I made 2 sales. I spoke about this yesterday on my Instagram. 2 sales. 2. Just 2. It's probably even like 1.5 because one of it is heavily discounted the second. But, people see the highlights and everything else, but they don't see that. And we don't often talk about the things that don't work. But doing that collection was great for me to learn that I need to speak to my client. I need to ask my client, what does she want for ready to wear? This isn't bespoke Sarah Boadu. It works differently. So asking questions, market research, etc. Like, learn also another thing. Sorry, 2 things. Don't copy, be original, be yourself. And also learn the business side of it. Do your market research. See what people actually want, not what you want. You're not your own customer. I'm not my target customer, and that's fine. I have the benefit of wearing my clothes, but I'm not necessarily my target customer. The customer profile that I have is, she has elements of me, but she's not me. So I speak to her.
Yeah.
That's my target customer. I know who it is. That's who I'm speaking to. I need to ask her what she wants. I can't ask me what I want because what I want might not work for, my target customer. So yeah, know your market and know yourself
and understand the business side of fashion. Golden, unfortunately, the time seems to have run away. If we were asking you for two insights for young designers, what would those two insights?
I would say that creativity gives your brand an identity, but business sustains the brand. So you can have all the talent in the world, but you need the business mindset to keep going. And you also need discipline to stay in the game.
You need discipline. So you are talking about creativity, but know the business side of the creativity because creativity doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't pay the bills. And then also understand, your second point was that
Discipline.
Discipline.
Because
Because if you're not disciplined, I mean, you get up today and you say today,
I
don't feel like it. I don't feel like it.
Yeah, but you need to keep going. You definitely have to keep going when it's tough. I mean, there are certain times, especially when you're beginning, you feel like, oh, I don't think I can do this. It's getting too hard, so let me just quit. But if you have discipline and also remember your purpose, it keeps you going. Because when challenges come, I'm designing for the woman who wants to feel confident. I'm designing for the woman who wants to be seen, who wants to be remembered. So what happens if I stop? So your purpose and discipline
would make it work. The lady who started with the bonnets and the Scotch whatever scrunchies, and right now she is living her purpose and her dream. Well done, Golden. And it was beautiful having you on the Hangout. Sarah, as we close, what are your final words? And you can just look straight in the camera and speak to those who are watching us today.
Final words for anyone, whether you're in fashion or any industry, don't give up. If you have a purpose, if you believe you are born to do something, if you believe God has called you to it, do not give up. Not even for yourself, but because God will ask. God will ask you, what did you do with the talent that I gave you? But we're so responsible, and I think not even just for yourself, but for the other people that need your gift, that need your gift to be shared. Do not give up. It's hard, it's tough. Sometimes you want to cry. Listen, I cry, I wipe my eyes, I continue. You cry, you have tough days, great days, amazing days, awful days, but do not give up and keep on.
Man, what an interesting and inspirational time we've had on the Hangout today. If you've watched it, as they said, once you know it's your purpose, truth be told, somebody is waiting for you to do what you have been called to do so that they can also fulfill their purpose. So when you stop, you are actually being a bad person. You're blocking somebody's breakthrough. So please don't block somebody else, okay? And therefore, until we come your way again next week with another exciting edition of the Springboard Hangout, know that you are loved. You are blessed. You are the most important person in the whole wide world. We love you. Bye.